Hey everyone, Andrew here, and it's time for another beginner's guide to the Disney parks. Today we will be looking at Walt Disney World Animal Kingdom. This is the most recent of the Disney World parks. Animal Kingdom first opened up in April of 1998 on Earth Day. It is a animals around the world themed kind of park. Arguably one of the most popular ones. It has one of the better reputations, but it is also in a lot of ways one of the more simplistic parks. There's not a lot to do here. Ride-wise, there's like 7 rides. It is, in many ways, a glorified zoo. But it does have some stuff in it that works really well, some really interesting ideas, interesting designs and elements and themings to it. I know a lot of people that love this park. This is their favorite of the parks. This, like I said in my Epcot video, there tend to be two people that do the Disney World parks. You are either an Epcot person or you are an Animal Kingdoms person. Animal Kingdom tends to go towards the people that love animals, tends to love creatures and learning things, and Epcot tends to be for the more people that are interested in the world and experiences and science and things of that nature. And I fall very much under the Epcot side of it. I like Animal Kingdom. I think it has some good stuff in it. And it's also a park that is going through a dramatic change as of right now. There's a whole entire land called the Dinoland USA that isn't going to exist in a year or so. That is getting completely rethemed into the tropical Americas. Whatever that means. I assume they mean like Central and South America. With the beginner's guide, like I've done for the other videos in the series, I recommend watching them if you have not. I will be going through each of the different lands of the park, talking about the attractions, the shows, the rides, anything that my thoughts on them, giving them a rating overall out of 5, 1 being awful, 5 being amazing. Then I'll talk about the food in the area, if there's anything worth your time in that regard. And then at the end, I will go through the entire park and my thoughts of it overall. Also, with this video, I'm going to be talking about the surrounding area of the Walt Disney World plaything, so I'll talk a little bit about the 2 water parks, talk a little bit about Disney Springs, things like that. So let's get started. Today we'll be doing the beginner's guide to the Animal Kingdom. Starting with the first area of the Animal Kingdom, which is the Oasis. This is very much the Main Street USA of this park. It is very bare bones, just mostly shops. The one attraction wise is you have this Oasis exhibits, which are these little pathways and areas where you can see a couple different animals such as flamingos and anteaters and things of that nature. It's a lot of walking, a lot of hills. So one of the big problems with Animal Kingdom is a lot of hills. Like Epcot is flat and huge. This is small, but it's all uphill. Like the last time I went, we went with a wheelchair, and pushing that around was exhausting. So the Oasis exhibit, though, is fine for what it is. It's a solid 2.5 out of 5 for me. There's a lot of walk-through little areas like this, and this is honestly the weakest of them. And that is literally it, attractions-wise. Food-wise, all we have in here is the Rainforest Cafe, which isn't even technically in here. It's on the other side of the entrance gate, so you don't even have to go into Animal Kingdom to dine at the Rainforest Cafe. If you've never been to a Rainforest Cafe, it is a table service restaurant themed after rainforest. It's got a lot of animatronics, a lot of different noises. There's a little rain storm that goes through every couple minutes. Some really decent food, really decent ideas. That said, there's a lot of rainforest cafes in the world, and this one just happens to be here at the entrance. And while it is among the better food in this park, because spoiler alert, there's not a lot of good food in Animal Kingdom. The last time I went to Animal Kingdom, we went in at like first thing in the morning, didn't have breakfast, hadn't had anything to eat. We're like, we'll find something in the park. We walked around for 5 hours, left the park still hungry because there was nothing worth bothering to get. And it's like, there's stuff, but there's not a lot that I would be like, you need to try this or you need to eat here. Still, it's like, it is a rainforest cafe. You can find these in multiple places around the world. It's alright, but it's not one I would say is really necessary or worth your time. It is honestly, though, some of the better food in the area. So the way I like to do these is we will go up the middle from the Oasis, and we will start with the first park area on the left, which is Pandora, the World of Avatar. So this is one of the big highlights of this park. It's all themed after James Cameron's Avatar films. It's got the floating rocks and different creatures and different animals. The big ride in this area is the Avatar Flight of Passage. This is a 3D simulated ride where basically you go into the big base with the humans and they're like, okay, we're going to hook you up to your avatar and you're going to hop aboard one of the flying banshees and you're going to fly around through the avatar world. And it's really creative, really fun, really interesting. You can actually feel the creature of the banshee breathing, because it's like the sides of the ride will just expand and compress as it's going by. Really fun, really creative, really interesting. One of the best rides Disney's ever done. That said, this is also the ride that can have the longest line in all of Disney World, because this one has had up to 4, 5, 6 hour wait times. First time I heard that, I was like, are you serious? Why? Why would anyone wait in a 6 hour line for this? But then you remember, Animal Kingdom has 6 rides, and this is one of the best. So of course this is going to have a very, very long line. But I don't know how often that actually happens. When I went the last time, it said it was going to take about 45 minutes to get through the line. The line took 25. But we also went, it was the first thing we did. So it's one of those ones where it's like you want to go there first thing in the morning or have the lightning lane for it. It's one of the few I would really recommend splurging and paying for the lightning lane for, because that line can get ridiculous. But it's still an amazing ride, well worth the time. When literally the only negative about it is the line can be long, you know you got a great ride. Solid 5 out of 5 for me. We also have the Na'vi River Journey, where you get into this little whitewater rapid raft and go down through the waters of Na'vi, seeing the different creatures and the different Na'vi people and the different animals. It's all in the dark. It's bioluminescent, so you get to see the different things glowing and stuff. Kind of interesting, kind of cool, but also kind of a slow boat ride with not a lot of stuff to do. Very kind of reminiscent of like Jungle Cruise when it was serious. It's okay. It's not amazing. It's not one I would wait in a long line for. Like when I went on it, it was an hour-long wait, and I don't think it was worth that. Like, this is one that if it's like 45 or less, do it. If it's an hour or more, put it off. It's fun. It's interesting. It's a solid 3.5 out of 5 for me. That is it ride-wise in this area. Food-wise over here, we have 2 real options. You have the Pongu Pongu, where you can get this giant pretzels and alcohol, and mostly is known for the Pongu Lumpia, which is a pineapple and cream cheese spring roll, which people tell me is good. I've never had it, and I have no desire to try it, so it is one of the more popular items in this area, but it doesn't sound worth it to me in any way. There's also the Satuli Cantina, where they do chicken and beef and shrimp bowls, as well as like cheeseburger pods and bao and things of that nature. It also has a really good reputation, but at the end of the day, it's kind of a protein bowl kind of place. So good, a little different, but not quite alien enough from what I would want from, you know, an Avatar land. Next, we have the Discovery Island. This is in the dead center of the park with the big giant tree with all the different animals carved into it. Really cool, really creative. Inside the tree used to be a show called It's Tough to Be a Bug. They just closed it this year in 2025. And we don't know what they're going to do with it. And it's a shame to see that go, but I'm not surprised at the same time, because they got rid of the one in California Adventure many years ago, so it's kind of been on the chopping block for many, many years. Over in this area, there's no real rides or anything of that nature. In this area, you have the Discovery Island trails, where you go through and see the different animals in the area, including like tortoises and flamingos and kangaroos. It's a decent little walkthrough area, a lot of hills still, a bit long in the trail side, but it's a solid 3 out of 5. You have the Adventurers Outpost, where you can meet Mickey and Minnie in their full expedition gear. And then you have the Wilderness Explorers, which is this little challenge area where basically your kid will be given this pamphlet of all these things that they can use while they're exploring the animal kingdom and fill out and get different stickers and different things. And when they complete the book, they get a special badge or something of that nature. It's a fun way to kill time for your kids and have them have something to do for the whole park, especially if your kid is really interested in animals. But I can't see any reason to ever suggest doing it or really going out of your way for it in any way. It's a 2 out of 5. Like, it's not something I'm like, don't do, it's awful, but it's not something I would ever choose to do myself. Food-wise, over in this area, you have the Typhoon's restaurant, which is a fancy sit-down restaurant that does pork chops and shrimp and grip and surf and turf and catch of the day. Little pricey, some decent options, some nice flavors, but not really something I say you really have to kind of spend this money on, because you can get similar food to this in the surrounding areas for a better price. Other food wise, you have the Creature Comforts, which is the Starbucks of this area, not to get confused with the other coffee place in the area called the Isle of Java, which does coffee and tea, but also biscuits and pastries. 8 Spoons Cafe, which does baked macaroni and cheese and churros. You have the Flame Tree Barbecue, where you can get your meat on a stick for the most part. Also, it does like pulled pork and sandwiches and things like that. You have the Pizzafari, where you can get pizza and salads and pastas. Not to get confused with the Terra Treats, which does pizza slices and churros. There's also the Smiling Crocodile, which does nachos and tacos and Mexican style food. Yeah, none of this food is really amazing in any way, shape, or form. These is like the most generic food stuff, except for that fancy sit-down restaurant. Moving on to the Africa section, taking up a big spot in the back. In this area, we have the Kilimanjaro Safaris. This is a fun little safari ride where you get into this big old safari truck and then travel through this area with these real live animals in different watering holes in different areas. It's all no fences, open-ended. It feels like being on a real safari, and it can be really creative, has some really great animals, some really good stuff to see. But this is one of those ones where it's a lot like Jungle Cruise, where it's like it depends on who's hosting it and what their personality is like and how interesting it all is.
Now this big giraffe-looking thing is a giraffe.
It is a good chunk of time. It is almost half an hour ride. Sometimes some of the animals aren't out there. Sometimes the tour guide isn't particularly good or particularly interesting. It closes really early. Like, it'll stop going at like 2 in the afternoon or 3 in the afternoon. So you need to be like there before it stops doing stuff. It's still really fun, really interesting. It is one of those things where it's like you kind of have to do this because it is the highlight of this park. And really sums up why this park exists, to give you this simulated African safari experience with it. It's a solid 4.5 out of 5. Like, it's got some really great stuff in it. It all depends on the animals and who's running it and all that stuff. You have the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trails, which is a walk-through trail area where you can see different animals, including gorillas and hippos and different types of birds. It's a lot like all the other ones, but it's more in the back, a little harder to get to. It can be a bit harder to walk around through. It's still good overall, solid 3 out of 5. We have Rafiki's Planet Watch, which is this conservation education center area that you have to get onto this train to get to, because it's in the way far back. It basically takes you straight up to the Planet Watch area, and in that area you have the conservation station where they teach you about different things and what they're doing scientific wide. You also have the affection station where they have a whole bunch of domesticated animals that you can basically go and pet. It's a petting zoo. So you got an education area and a petting zoo, and it's like, it's all okay. It's pretty fun if you have like a little kid, and it's not something to really take time out to do, and you really do have to take time out to do it because you have to wait for the train, ride the train, explore the entire area over there, and then wait for the train to get back. A good half hour or more experience, and that's if you are rushing through it and there's not long lines. If there's a lot of people, it can get pretty bad. Still, overall, it's a solid little thing. It's a 2 out of 5, though. It's not something I would ever really want to do again. Lastly, we have the Festival of the Lion King. This is a big interactive, fun little show that's very reminiscent of medieval times, mixed with the Lion King Broadway production, mixed with Cirque du Soleil a little bit. You get to see different performers as different storytellers telling you the plot and the elements of the Lion King story. Really fun, really creative, got some really great performances and ideas and concepts in it. It's a solid 4 out of 5 for me. Like, it is in an air-conditioned building. It is a fun way to kill some time. Worth a look if you haven't. That is it attraction-wide over in this area. Again, no real rides, just the safari, and that barely counts as a ride. That's just more of a Jeep experience, but it still has some stuff in it. So food-wise in this area, you have, first off, we have the Tusker House restaurant, which is a buffet-style character meet-and-greet area where you can meet Donald and all of their friends in safari gear. It has a lot of the familiar stuff that you would see at any of these kind of buffets. It's a little pricey and not necessarily the most amazing food. It's the equivalent of, say, like Goofy's Kitchen type of thing. It's not awful, but it's not something I'd go out of my way for. The Harambe Fruit Market, which is grilled corn and hot dogs and pretzels and stuff like that. There's also the regular Harambe Market, which is rice bowls and salad and pita bread. It's Kusafari Coffee Shop and Bakery, which is another place to get your morning coffee, as well as sandwiches and overnight oats and pastries and stuff like that. There is the Mahindi, which is popcorn and glazed nuts. There's the Tamu Tamu restaurant, which does giant cinnamon rolls and Dole Whip and floats and things. And that is it food-wise. Up next we have the Asia section, which is all Asian in its theming. Over here we have Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain. This is a train-themed roller coaster ride where you get into this little train and you go up the mountain and you're getting chased by the Yeti. And you're going through and getting screamed at by the Yeti, getting to a point of the track where the Yeti has just ripped the track out of the ground and it's all twisted. So you end up going backwards down through all the track. I have not gotten to ride this one myself. Again, terrified of roller coasters. Roller coasters scare me. This one has scared me a bit. I have watched the videos on it. I have gotten other people's opinions on it, and everyone else gives it a solid 5 out of 5. And from what I've seen of it and everything that I've seen, it looks amazing. The one nitpick you can kind of have with this ride is the Yeti animatronic not being particularly great, especially if you've went on it in the past. When this ride first opened up, they had this big, huge, amazing animatronic Yeti that would literally swing and move and shake the whole mountain type of thing. And turns out they didn't plan that really well, because that Yeti broke the mountain. And they literally had to stop making him move because the mountain was actually breaking under the strain. And like, the biggest regret of the guy that designed it and did all that is the fact that the Yeti, he's like, if I could go back and fix anything, it would be the Yeti. But to do that, they have to take the mountain apart. So it's one of those things where now it's just him being basically still, and they got a little lights on his face. They call it the Disco Yeti. But honestly, like, I don't see that as a big negative. Like, it makes the story more interesting. It makes the ride more interesting that they tried this and they had this and just kind of didn't work out. Plus, it's also a 2-second part of the ride. Like, you could literally probably take the Yeti out of there and it wouldn't affect the ride in any way, shape, or form. So, overall, I still give this a solid 5 out of 5. Like, very good roller coaster from everything I've seen and everything I heard. Definitely one of those ones that's going to have a longer line, but one of the ones where it's really worth it to go. Like, this is one of the 2 real attractions at this park, ride-wise. Like, it's one of the things that makes you go there. There's also the Kali River Rapids over here, which is whitewater rapids kind of ride, where you're just getting through this area and getting sloshed around. It's very reminiscent of like Grizzly River Run. It has little story elements and things of that nature, but for the most part, it's a generic whitewater rapids ride. You're going to get wet, you're going to get soaked. Definitely plan ahead for that if you're doing it. It's okay. It's a good way to cool off if it's very hot, but it's not one to go out of your way for or wait super long for. It's a solid 4 out of 5 though. We also have the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which is another little walking trail where you can see tigers and monkeys and bats and Komodo dragons. Really fun, but again, lots of hills, lots of up and down. So, take water and plan ahead for this. 3 out of 5. We also have a show over here called The Feathered Friends in Flight. This is a lovely little bird show where you get to see different birds interacting with the trainers and the audience and doing different little tricks. They're all unleashed, which is kind of cool, and flying around freely. It's really cute, really fun, but it isn't really all that different than something you would see at like the San Diego Zoo, or a big named kind of zoo has these kind of animal bird shows. It's a solid 2.5. It's not something to really take time out to do, but it has some elements in it and some stuff that work really well in it. As for food in this area, the big one in this area is the Yak and Yeti restaurant. This is a full-on table service restaurant that has some really good options. Has Pan-Asian food style, so you got chicken tikka masala and Korean beef and Kobe beef burgers and things like that. A little pricey, but not as bad as some of the others in this area. Got some really nice flavors to it. It is easily one of the best restaurants in this park, but it's definitely not even in the top 5 of the Disney World restaurants, or even the 10, I would say. It might be in the top 20, though. It's got some stuff in it, but it's not necessarily something you really have to get into. If you want into it, though, it's reservation only, so definitely look into that. There's also the Yak and Yeti Local Foods Cafe, where they do smaller versions of some of the stuff. They got a sweet and sour tempura shrimp and honey sesame chicken. There's the Trek Snacks, where you can get popcorn and ice cream and pretzels. There's Mr. Kamala's, where you can get fries and chicken dumplings. There's Drinkwalla, where you can get glazed nuts and ice cream and alcohol. There's the Caravan Road, which does shaved ice, some with and without alcohol. There is the Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company / Royal Anandapur Tea Company, which is another coffee shop, because this place really needs 4 coffee shops. Plus, you can get coffee pretty much everywhere. But sure, yeah, let's add another coffee shop to this place. And then you have the Anandapur Ice Cream Truck. This is soft serve ice cream. You can get sundaes and floats and things of that nature. Moving on to the last park, the last area that won't exist very soon, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, because it is sad to kind of see this go in many ways, but we have Dinoland USA. This is an area that is already under construction. They've already taken down like a chunk of this park, and they're going to take down more of it to make way for the Tropical America's land that they are using to replace this with. And on the one hand, it's like, okay, yeah, there wasn't much here, so it's not too bad to see it go. But on the other hand, it's kind of sad to see this dinosaur theming just disappear entirely. Like, especially to get rid of certain rides, such as the dinosaur ride, is just kind of sad. But I am also excited to see kind of what they do with it. Like this, because this always had a bit of a playground, amateurish, kiddie pool kind of feel to it. So to have them upgrade it in some way, shape, or form sounds good. So a good chunk of the rides are currently closed for this area, but they have not closed all of it. They still kept over the Boneyard, which is a kids' play area where you would go through, and there were different slides and different things you climb up on, and there was this little sand pit which you could sweep up to discover fossils in. It's an okay little play area for little kids. It's something that they can do, and you can sit down and catch your breath. It is sad that this is going to go, but they're probably going to replace it with something similar, so we'll have to wait and see. It's a 2 out of 5, though. Then we have the dinosaur ride. This is themed after the dinosaur film from 2002, the really bad one that, made it into my bottom 5 Disney films of all time. Like, it's definitely one of their worst animated films they ever did. So the ride itself is straight up Indiana Jones from Disneyland. You get into this Jeep, and you get sent back in time to find I think it was the Allosaurus from the one from the movie. And it's basically, we have to find it before the meteor strikes, and it is basically a very jerky Indiana Jones, like even more jerky than Indiana Jones was. So like the last time I went, it really hurt. Like you were just getting flown across the whole thing the whole time. That said, I love this ride. I think it's great. It was legitimately my favorite ride here for a very long time. The first time I came to this park, the first year or two after it opened, they had next to nothing there. They didn't even have like the Expedition Everest ride at the time. It was 100+ degrees. It was an absolutely awful day that made me never want to go back to that park again, which is part of why I don't love this park. But the dinosaur ride saved it. We went on it 3 times. It was so much fun and so interesting. It is the one I'm sad to see go. That said, they are opening up an Indiana Jones ride, so you know they're just going to retheme the dinosaur ride into the Indiana Jones, because that would be easier. Like, why bother getting rid of it? So hopefully that does happen. This one is an easy 4.5 out of 5 for me. I absolutely love it. I am sad to see this version of it go. I do really hope we get to see it saved in some way, shape, or form. Also in this area, they are still showing the Finding Nemo, the Big Blue and Beyond show. This is a retelling of the Finding Nemo film done with live actors using puppets. It's cute, it's charming, it's a decent way to kill a couple minutes, and you have it all in an AC building, so that is fun. But it's a cute, fun little show. I give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. Restaurant-wise here, I'm not even going to bother mentioning them because they're all going to be gone soon. And none of them are particularly amazing, worth mentioning anyway. They are burgers and fries and the stuff that you get everywhere. That is Animal Kingdom in a nutshell. Yeah, like I said, this is not a lot here. If you are a rides person, this is not the park for you. If you are an animal lover, this is 100% the park for you. Like, if you are someone that loves zoos and loves going to see animals in their environment and watch them and do all that stuff, really great for that. If you are that kind of person. I am not. Zoos do not interest me. If every time I've been to a zoo in my life, I'm there an hour and then I leave because I'm bored. I would definitely say this is still a full day kind of park. If for no other reason, then the rides that are worth going to are going to have lines. And this is definitely one where you want to invest, if you can, into the lightning lane, pay for the ticket things. There's great stuff here, but it is not the most amazing of the parks for me. Again, I know that I have friends that this is their absolute favorite. They love this park. This is their jam to me. But for me, that's like, this has 2 or 3 rides that are worth it. Plus, this is a park that tends to close early. They close at like 7 or 8 in the afternoon some days later, some days earlier. So this is one where I'm like, you could do this for part of the day and then hop over to Hollywood Studios and do that for the end of the day and hit both of them. This is still one that is worth going to for the theming, for the storytelling, for the different ideas and the different stuff there. It's not one I would recommend for food. It's not one I'd recommend for thrill rides, but it is one that is worth exploring. So the top 5 for this park. Number 5 would be the Navi River Journey. 4 would be Dinosaur. I think it's still got some really good fun in it. Number 3 would be the Kilimanjaro Safaris. Number 2 is Expedition Everest. Number 1 is the Avatar Flight of Passage. Well worth the time, well worth the experience. Really fun, really creative. Not worth a 6-hour wait. I don't think there's a ride in the world I would say is worth a 6-hour wait. I can totally see waiting 2 hours for it. That is one I would probably wait that long for. As far as things that are skippable in this, pretty much all of Discovery Island, all of the dinosaur land that isn't dinosaur, most of the walking treks if you're not a big animal goer. But that's just my thoughts overall on Animal Kingdom. What do you all think? Do you like this park? Do you hate this park? Is it your favorite? Why is it your favorite? As far as if I was going to rank the parks for Disney World of the 4 big theme parks, Hollywood Studios would be number 4. It has some of the better rides, but it doesn't have a lot there. Animal Kingdom has got some of the better storytelling, but it's lacking in its rides, so it's number 3. Number 2 is Magic Kingdom. If you've been to Disneyland, you've been to Magic Kingdom, but it does have some stuff in it that really does stand out. And then finally you'll have Epcot, which to me I think is just like the ultimate culmination of what Disney was trying to make with his parks, as this fun, interesting, creative ideas, but mixing of teaching, but also having fun. It's very edutainment. So really good overall. I love Epcot a lot. Moving on to the surrounding area of the Disneyland Resort, we have the two big water parks, which are Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. So Blizzard Beach is this fun, interesting water park where this mountain ski slope basically got hit with a freak snowstorm in summer. And now the summer heat is hitting it, and it's all melting and becoming all of these different water paths. A lot of water slides, this really huge, big, lazy river that goes through most of the entire park. Some little wave pools, one of the biggest slide drops there is. Really good, fun kid water play area that has a whole bunch of Frozen stuff in it, which is pretty cool. Really great theming, really fun, blast to go through. I absolutely loved it. We also have the Typhoon Lagoon. This one is basically this town got hit by a hurricane, and now this big ship ended up crashing on the mountain, and then now there's all these water paths that aren't supposed to be there that are just caused throughout the town. It's got some really good stuff into it, a couple different rides, a couple different interesting ideas. It has this wave pool that takes up a good chunk of the area, and its wave pool has this thing, has two versions. It has the little waves like you would see in any other wave pool, and then it has this thing called the surf pool, where it literally makes these huge giant waves that just come crashing in, knock everyone over. Both are pretty good. I personally think Blizzard Beach is more interesting and has better theming and better ideas and more interesting rides, but both are not a waste of time. What is a waste of time is the ESPN Zone Wide World of Sports. Do not get tricked by that, because thankfully they don't advertise that as much as they used to, but when I was a kid they advertised that a lot, and I got tricked into going to it, and it's not worth any time. Unless there is a specific sport going on that you are interested in watching, there's nothing to do here. It is literally a bunch of empty fields, and occasionally they'll do different sports, and you can go and watch those sports there. When I was a kid, my mom bought the big package where it's like you can do each of the parks, and you can also do two of the side parks. You get to choose, and it's like, so we did Blizzard Beach, and then I picked this one because they were doing this big football experience, what it is like to do, be a professional football player experience thing. I was like, oh, that looks so much fun and so cool, and went there, and it was literally this little tiny play area that was all inflated and just there temporarily. And it was like you did it, and you were done in 5 minutes. And then it's like, okay, what else is there to do here? It's like, well, they're having a fencing competition over there. You don't get to compete, but you can watch. Oh, that is one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, that was a disappointing part of that trip. I'm still mad at myself for picking that. I still feel bad for my mom for having spent the money for us to go and do that and have that be wasted like that. Like, we could have done any of the water parks. There were 3 water parks at the time that the case, because there used to be a water park there called the River Country, and I actually wanted to go to River Country. That was my other choice, was going to be River Country instead of ESPN Zone, but then that didn't happen, and then River Country got destroyed. Well, it got closed and then abandoned for 20 years, and then now it's destroyed. But yeah, there's a whole history to that if you are interested, I recommend checking out Bright Sun Films for that. He did the whole history on it, really great. But yeah, that is, yeah, so stay away from the ESPN Wide World of Sports, because jeez Louise, that was such a waste of time and energy to go to. Also in the Disney surrounding area, we have these little Disney Putt Putt areas where you can go through and play Putt Putt in these different themed areas. You have one that's Fantasia themed, you have one that's Christmas themed. They're okay. They are not particularly great. They are not something I would say is worth your time, but if you're a big Putt Putt person, sure, go ahead, I guess. Like, yeah, there's a whole golf course as well. Last but not least, we have the Disney Springs, which used to be Downtown Disney, which before that was Pleasure Island. When it was Pleasure Island, it had a whole bunch of shows and theaters and restaurants that were specifically themed for it, such as the Adventurers Club and Videopolis. Now, as Disney Springs, it is a mall with high-end Dolce & Gabbana, Puma, things like that. There is a Cirque du Soleil show There's a movie theater, and also you can ride a hot air balloon for a couple minutes and see the surrounding area. It's not worth your time. I honestly recommend checking out the surrounding Orlando area. There's some really great restaurants in there. The one I want to recommend the most, there's this little place in like the downtown Orlando area called Better Than Sex. It is a dessert restaurant. It's really great for date nights. It does some of the best desserts I've ever had in my life. Like, I dream about these desserts. They are so good. And they make their own amaretto and do like wines with a chocolate rim, which is really good. I am not sponsored. I just love their food. Check them out. They are well worth your time. If you're doing shopping and Disney shopping, check out the discount stores in the area because there's a lot of them and some of them have some really unique and really good stuff. It's really interesting because you compare the surrounding area of Disney World to Disneyland, and they bought the big chunk of the area that they did for Disney World because Walt wanted to control what the surrounding area was like. He didn't like the, not controlling the hotels, not controlling the shopping and the everything. So there was people selling knockoff stuff of his in the surrounding area. But if you go around the Disneyland area and then you go around the Walt Disney World area, Disneyland doesn't have a lot of knockoff stores. There's a lot of knockoff stores in Florida. Like every block, there's at least two. Like it's everywhere over there. And and over in California, some of the hotels have them, but that's it. And that's my thoughts on the Walt Disney World areas as a whole. I know I did not talk about any of the hotels. The reality is I have never been in any of the hotels. I have no knowledge on them. I don't know much about them. I don't even know if there's really any sort of advantage to going to them because as far as I've talked with everyone I've talked to and everything I've heard and everything I've seen, the only advantages I've seen to staying in one of the Disney World hotels is that they have multiple ways to get you to the parks and that you can go in an hour earlier. But the multiple ways that get you to the parks, it's not like it used to be because they cut down most of the buses and stuff, so it's even less than ways to get to the parks than there used to be. And the whole you get to go to the parks an hour earlier, that's great if you're a person that likes to get up at 6 in the morning. I am definitely not, so I don't need that. I'd rather stay until midnight at the parks and try to squeeze stuff in then. If you want to add comments about the hotels in the below, please do so. Let people know if it's worth the stay or not. I've never seen the advantage to it, but I know a lot of friends that do that every single time and recommend it. I honestly recommend checking out the surrounding area as far as hotels and stuff goes, because you can get better suites, better rooms, better things in the surrounding area for a decenter price. Those are my thoughts on the Walt Disney World as a whole. What did you all think? Did you like these videos? Did you hate these videos? Do you want me to do the Universal ones? I do think I am going to do that at some point when I have the desire and the energy to do so. But I think I'll only do the Hollywood one and the first two of the Florida ones. I am not going to do Epic Universe because these are a beginner's guide. These are me, having used my years of experience from going to the park so many times, giving you my opinions on it. Whereas Epic Universe is brand new this year, and I have not been, and I don't plan to go anytime soon. And if I've only been once, it's not really a good beginner's guide, is it? But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think of all this in the below. And maybe if I do end up going to the Epic Park, I will do a quick video that's just my thoughts on it. Maybe if I really want to, but I doubt I will. I definitely have no plans to go in the next 2 or 3 years. I'll see you all later. Happy watching, happy reading. Bye.